afternoon, everyone, and very warm welcome to you all. My name is Anuj Sonpal, CEO of Valorem Advisors. We represent the investor relations of Associated Alcohols and Breweries Limited. Firstly, on behalf of the company, I would like to thank you all for participating in this event. And I would also like to thank the management for giving us the opportunity to host them for this Valorem CXO meet. So welcome, everyone. As you know, the Valorem CXO meet is a first of its kind virtual analyst meet event series. And our intention with these virtual CXO meets is to take advantage of technology platforms like this by reaching out to a wider audience and to create a better understanding and bring awareness about our client company's fundamental business, provide insights into their specific industry, financials, and future growth strategies. The format of this this event would be primarily in a Q&A interview format, where I will start off by asking the management some broad level questions and then move on to questions from the participants. Please note that if you have any questions to ask the management, you can use the Q&A button at the bottom of your screen to post your questions, which I will ask on your behalf to the management. Now, before I begin, let me mention a short cautionary statement. Some of the statements made in today's event may be forward-looking in nature. Such forward-looking statements are subject to risks and uncertainties, which could cause actual results to differ from those anticipated. Such statements are based on management's beliefs as well as assumptions made by and information currently available to management. Audiences are cautioned not to place any undue reliance on these forward-looking statements in making any investment decisions. Let me now introduce you to the management participating with us in today's event. We have with us Mr. Prasann Kumar Kedia. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, Anuji.
Mr. Prasann Kedia is the promoter and of the company, and he oversights the operations and business development. He's an integral part of the AABL family with more than 25 years of experience. We also have with us Mr. Tushar Bhandari, who is the whole-time director of the company. Good afternoon, Tusharji.
Good afternoon, Ji, and good afternoon to everyone.
Thanks. So Tusharji has more than 7 years of experience as an investment banker. Prior to joining the core team of Associated Alcohols and Breweries Limited, he's been associated with AABL since 2011 and was appointed as the whole-time director in 2017. So now, without any further delays, let's begin. I'll start with Mr. Prasann Kumar Kedia ji. Prasann ji, could you start with giving us a brief history and background about the company and your journey so far, please?
Thank you, Anand. I'll give you history and some milestone of the company. We started in 1989 as a small company. We were making alcohol from molasses and making a country liquor that time. We felt need for expansion, and that time we went public in 1995, and in 2012 we wanted to use a grain manufacturing capacity, so we went for modernization in 2012, and we switched over from molasses to grain in 2012. In 2017, government was giving license to new companies, so we applied for license and we got upgraded from 45 million alcohol liter production capacity to 90 million liters. And in 2017 also we got a tie-up with the Diageo USL for their franchise model popular brand in Madhya Pradesh. In 2019, we expanded from 31 million liters to 45 million liters. And now we are looking at a 90 million liter capacity with the most modern state-of-the-art distillery with free bottling location in almost, we are there in 5 states, and we are looking for some more states in the coming years. Thank you.
Great, sir. Thank you for that. Moving on to my next question is for Tusharji. Tusharji, if you could brief our viewers on our various business segments, maybe categorize it in the B2B and then B2C segments, and just give an overview on that, please.
I will just broadly categorize the product portfolio which we have, or the business segments which we have. First and foremost being the sale of ENA. Second is the IMIL business, which is the country liquor business. Third is the IMFL business. Fourth is the IMFL business, that is the franchisee business, which we are doing for USL and selling their brands in state of Madhya Pradesh. And fifth is the job work business. Here, B2B category comes primarily into the sale of ENA and the job work business. We've been known in the country for the quality-based ENA over last 3 decades, and that's our core competency of selling quality products. And we always command premium for selling our quality products and quality-based ENA. In that ENA sale business, we have our major customers as Diageo USL, then Pernod, ABD, and other small players, regional big players are there, whom we are supplying ENA continuously over the years. Second B2B business is the manufacturing or doing the job work business. We have been associated with Diageo India since their inception in the country. That is when they had launched around 15, 16 years back. Over the years, the volumes have been on a volatile front. But post Diageo's takeover, earlier pre-Diageo's takeover of USL, we were manufacturing around about 30 to 40,000 cases per month for them. And now we are manufacturing almost 2 lakh cases per month for them. Second is the B2C business, which is IMFL and IMIL business. So in IMIL business, we are the leaders in IMIL business in the state of Madhya Pradesh, holding almost 25 to 30% market share. In IML business, we have seen a steady growth. We've seen a steady growth in the IMFL business in last 3 to 4 years. Wherein again in in the state of Madhya Pradesh, we are holding 25 to 30% market share, and we are expanding into other states as well.
Great, Tushar. Thanks for that. So you talked about this phenomenal journey that the company has had. And we can see that, that there was a turnaround that happened in the company in the last 4 to 5 years. So can you elaborate on the strategic shift that happened in the company and the management thought process and also the underlying steps that the company has taken to get here?
Taking the views or the clues from what Mr. Kedia has said, in last 5 to 7 years, the industry has also changed drastically. And we've always been on the front foot over the years. We've always had a nature of forward looking and anticipating things in advance and doing things accordingly. There was a post the Diageo's takeover of USL, there has been a huge gap and there has been opportunities for regional players like us. Earlier, what used to happen then when regional players used to try to become big, okay, the entire market was controlled by the single largest player, Dr. Vijay Mallya ji. And either you used to take over those brands or you used to try and compete with those brands and try to finish those brands. But post Diageo's takeover, the Diageo started concentrating more on a premium brand. So there is a huge gap available in the popular brand across the category and across the segments and across the markets. So which is an opportunity for regional players like us to enter there and create increase our base on that front. So we followed on that footstep. What we did is last 7 years back, we thought that we would have to increase our management expertise and have to increase our base stronger. So what we did is that we introduced the SAP system. We are one of the very few companies in the industry who has end-to-end SAP system and mechanism. So which has benefited us in creating a very strong base, benefited us in increasing our efficiencies, benefited us in a lot of other ways. So that's what we did 7 years back. And post that, we were doing fairly well in selling slight IMFL business and IML business. And we were making a good enough EBITDA margin, which was equally comparable to any other companies in the industry. But then we thought that now is the time to aggressively get into the business of IMFL. Though we were already manufacturing IMFL for big players like Diageo and USL. So we thought that might as well, we should use those expertise and we should use our expertise and core competencies of quality. And we should start making our own brands and aggressively doing that. So that's what we started, we started manufacturing our premium brands and we started selling it. So that saw a good growth and good potential in the market of Madhya Pradesh. And then in around year of 2016-17, we got an opportunity of taking USL's popular brands on a franchisee basis. So we aggressively pursued that, and we were able to get the contract of manufacturing and selling USL brand on franchisee basis. That gave a sudden boost to the company's top line and the company's IMFL business also, because overnight we became the #1 player in state of Madhya Pradesh. So there are certain brands for without which the shops are not viable. So what we started doing is that we started selling those brands, and behind those brands, our brand started riding. So volume, we started seeing the volume growth in our brands. So that gave us a substantial amount of confidence to grow up outside Madhya Pradesh. So then we started looking into the states outside Madhya Pradesh. But as our strategies has always been that we have always been a low debt company and we take conservative steps because we believe in keep on walking concept rather than running on falling. So we entered one by one, we entered into different states. We entered the state, we expanded in that state, we stabilized into that state, and then we entered into another stage. So at present, we are available in almost five states. That is Delhi, Karnataka, Kerala, Chhattisgarh, and recently we've entered into the UP market also. So these parameters have helped us to grow in aggressively in last 5 years. And then looking into the opportunity also, the market demand is also increasing. We increased our capacity also from 3.5 million to 4.5 million. And now we are also planning to increase our capacity from 4.5 million to 9 million cases. But now our focus has always, now over the last 5 years, what has changed is that our focus has always been to sell more of a more and more value added products, that is our products. So that is what we are doing. We are also exploring the international markets, which has again got a huge potential in the popular segment. So we are doing that. We are expanding into the CSD business, paramilitary business. So that is giving us growth year on year.
Great, thanks, Tushar. You touched upon the landscape of the whole alcohol industry to a certain extent. Let me move the next question to Prasanji and his 25 years of experience on this. Prasanji, could you enlighten our viewers on the overall alcohol market landscape in India? And what will it take for another company to become the next United Spirits? What is the growth potential, and also what is your vision and strategy to encash on this growth potential?
I think India is currently third ranked country for alcohol consumption, and it can very well become #1 country in the world in coming years. So we have that way we have a great potential, and consumption is increasing every year, and now earlier there was a taboo of a social taboo was there. Now there is no taboo; it is well accepted. So for company like us, we are a low debt company, and we have knowledge experience of last 40 years. So we are well geared up for to expand and become like a big company. So, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Go ahead.
So we are well placed to become a large company, and we can do very well, and because of the growth potential in the there in India.
Sure. Next question, let me, before I move on to the questions from the participants, and I can see that there are a lot of questions that have already started coming in. So let me conclude my questions. I had a few, but I think it's better to take questions from the participants. Tusharji, I'll ask you one final question. If you could brief our viewers on the company's CapEx plans and growth strategy from here on, specifically for each of your business verticals, that would be great.
So just to take it forward from where Mr. Kedia left, that we see a huge potential in the Indian economy, and the Indian economy is primarily more of a youth, and we see more of a sensible drinking happening here. And the per capita consumption at present is very low. So we see that in future there will be a boost in the liquor industry. So looking into that, we have taken certain capex plans, and we've made certain plans for coming next 4 to 5 years. First and foremost, the capex plan which we have planned is that we have wanted to increase our capacity from 4.5 million to 9 million. So almost most of the things have been finalized on that. Technicals have been frozen, financials have been frozen. Anytime soon, we will be implementing those that plan. Second is Diageo's. Over the years, Diageo has got a great confidence in us. So we are working very closely with them and to manufacture and supply to them across the country. We are also in talking terms to set up a malt plant for them, wherein we'll be supplying them malt, and plus also we have plans to manufacture single malt as a brand for ourselves and selling it to different areas. We also have a plan of setting up though we have seen our increase in drastic increase in our sale in IMFL business. So for that, we will also need an additional bottling capacity. So then we have a plan to implement and set up an additional bottling facility also. So these are the major three plans which we have in the coming 2 to 3 years.
Great, Tusharji. Thank you. Let me move on to the questions from the participants now. There are a lot of them. So participants, if you have questions, please put them in the Q&A link and not the chat link. The Q&A link is another button. So please use that. First, I will start taking questions from the participants who've actually pre-requested through email. So the first question I'm going to take is from Mr. Sumit Sultania. He asks is that the Kerala is one of the largest states by revenue for our company for the IMFL brands. We use an outsourcing bottling plant in Kerala. So what is the reason for this? And if so, are we planning to set up any capacity in Kerala in the future, or we'll continue with this? And if so, how much does the outsourcing impact our margins by? Does it impact it positively or negatively?
See, we have seen in Kerala market, we entered almost around 3 years back, and we have seen a phenomenal response in the Kerala market. But as our strategy of the company has always been of working on a conservative basis. So what we did is that instead of us buying out a unit, our principles have always been to work on the best cost-effective model. So what we did is that we started getting it manufactured through someone else. So primarily there was no capex involved here. The only funds which we require was a working capital requirement. On that also, we used to, that instead of selling ENA on a credit basis, we used to send ENA from our unit, which is the major component of the working capital. So that was also taken care of. So with a very minute investment, we believe in starting in any other state, because there's no point investing, and then if you are not able to succeed, then it becomes a problem. So on a conservative basis, we entered there and we've seen a phenomenal response there. So from 30,000 cases, will be now doing almost a lakh cases in the coming months to come per month onwards. Though we are exploring an opportunity of buying out a unit, but it depends on a completely cost-benefit analysis. At present, it makes pure sense to get it manufactured, and our expertise is providing quality ENA and making quality brand and selling those brands. So we are concentrating on that rather on manufacturing activity, and we are trying to realize the value from selling a premium brand. So that's what our strategies have been in Kerala. But if we find a value deal, we might look into it. So there's nothing as of it on cards at present.
Sure. His follow-up question is that on the capacity expansion which you talked about, has the company started work out here, and when is the new capacity expected to be commissioned by?
See, the new capacity expansion, as I told previously also, most of the plans have already been finalized, the commercials have been finalized, the technicals have been finalized. But due to the slowdown in the economy and lockdown in most of the places, and people could not travel, and construction activities could not take place, so we had put these plans on hold. So anytime soon we will start these plans, and as soon as we start these plans, we will keep everyone intimated about it.
Sure. I'll move on to the next question from Adinath Financial. He's talking about since the company is using grain as raw material and it is subject to price volatility, as we have seen in the past, what are the measures that the company is taking to mitigate and manage this risk? And how much of the inventory of grain at any point, how much of inventory of grain do we carry at any point of time in terms of time?
See, for the grain, because as it contributes a major percentage of contribution in the price of ENA is grain. So we've formed a separate internal team who is regularly analyzing on the grain prices, checking on the movement, crop output, and everything. And on the basis of that, we take calls at what kind of volumes we should keep and what price we should buy. We've also started buying directly from the mandis also, so that we have we have our people on the foot to cross-verify the prices, what we are getting across, and get the feel of the market, where the market is headed. We have got a capacity of keeping almost 2 months grain, but depending on the price movement and the future movement, we keep on stocking our grains in and out. But on average, we have around 15 to 20 days grain stock available with us. But if opportunities arises and we see the price might rise, so we can stock grain at a higher quantities also. So completely our internal team, we've got a separate team which is dedicated to grain analyzing and the price analyzing across the country, and then we take a call after that.
Sure. Also, another follow-up from him is that can you give an idea on the profitability from each of the segment, that is IMIL, IMFL, franchisee, and the other business like contract manufacturing, ENA? So broadly, if you can give a range of margins or something out there. I know we don't want to get specifics.
Yeah, see, on a broad basis, the EBITDA contribution by all these segments is, say for example, in ENA it's around about 8 to 10%. In IMIL it's around about 13 to 15%. In IMFL business it's anywhere between 18 to 22 to 23%. So that is the kind of EBITDA contribution. Plus EBITDA contribution from the franchisee sale business, USL products, is around 20 to 25%. But post royalty payment, it comes around about, say, around 12 to 13%.
Okay. Next question I'll take from Ishant Thakkar from Fort Capital. What is the average grain consumption in metric tons and average grain prices? I know we don't have specifics probably in front of you, but broadly in a year, could you, for the kind of capacity do we have, is there a way to calculate this, or do we have to give them specific details later?
Per month basis, our average grain consumption is around about, say, 9,000 to 10,000 tons. Price keeps on varying. So right now, price is anywhere in the range of around about 13,000 to 14,500. So it keeps on varying. And last year, the same price was around about 18,000 to 19,000 rupees per metric ton.
So this year, definitely the prices are definitely on the better side.
On the softer note.
Right. Next question I'll take from him is on the capex side again. What is the total capex outlay for increasing our new capacity to 90 MLPA, and also how much of that have we incurred till date?
Total capex plan of moving from 45 to 90 is around about 100 to 120 crores. At present, we have not made any, as I told you, that at present we've just finalized most of the things and we've not done any investments in that. And very soon we'll be taking that up.
Sure. On the same lines, on capex, I'll take the next question from Manish Dhariwal. Is that how will this volume affect our ENA, IMIL, IMFL sales? How will what is the strategy? What will we first start with, and over the period of time, how will that change? If you can explain that.
See, always, as I told earlier also, our focus is to increase the sale of value-added products. So that's what we've planned. See, for when we were at 35 million liters, okay, at that point of time, we were not doing that much of value-added products. But then when we started the expansion plans of 35 to 45, our target was whatever the additional capacity is there, we should utilize that additional capacity in doing that value-added product. So within months of implementation of that 45 million capacity, we were able to, so we had already planned accordingly. So we were able to utilize that additional capacity in-house, either in terms of job work manufacturing or by in terms of selling our value-added products, that is the sale in Karnataka, other states and everything. So the entire capex plan would take around 1.5 to 2 years. Our objective is to convert maximum of this kind of whatever the additional capacity come into our value-added products. So, for example, recently we started our business in UP, which all of us knows is all of us know that it's a very big market, and if we get a good click there, then we can replicate our Kerala model there. So that's what we've already started doing, and this is the second month we are doing it, and we are getting a fair response from there. And then we have plans to enter Odisha. So we have got roadmaps defined that what we want to do in next 1.5 year to 2 year to utilize this additional capacity, whatever we get, maximum utilize this additional capacity for our internal value-added products, that is our IMFL sales business.
Okay.
We are also in talking terms that Diageo, has seen a performance in the terms of franchisee business. So now Diageo also wants us to take the similar kind of franchisee business for other states for which they have approached us. So we have plans jogged down. So our best efforts would be to utilize the additional capacity in our value-added products or for our self-consumption, because that's where the margin.
But just to explain it more clearly, that capacity, when it comes up, first you start with selling ENA, and then you slowly moved it towards value addition, right?
Over the period of time, over the 1.5 year period, we would have captured half of the journey to utilize some part of this value-added product, which will come in future, and increase our value product sale. See, today, selling ENA is not an issue for us. There's a huge demand of ENA today also, but it's a very low margin business. So we don't want to get into that. We want to get into a value-added business. So that will be our focus.
So let me explain. Let me try to ask this question slightly differently. When the capacity comes up, first thing we will sell is the ENA, and slowly the margins will improve. So the sales will be there, but slowly the margins will also improve.
Exactly.
Because of the transition towards more value addition.
More value addition.
Okay. Moving on to the next question from Manish Zariwal only. Is there any equity dilution being planned to finance this CAPEX program? How are we going to fund the whole CAPEX program?
We've got a sufficient amount of internal accruals, which you must have seen from our performance also over the years. So we have plans to utilize our internal accruals, and if need be, we will borrow from bank. So there's no equity dilution plans at present.
Okay. I think a few people are asking this question, although a small part of our business. How much is cattle feed, and what is the thought process out there? Do we have any brands out here? Also, what are the other byproducts that we sell? If any thoughts on the cattle feed and other kind of byproduct sales.
So the byproducts which we sell consist of cattle feed, fusel oil, and CO2. The major portion of the byproducts is primarily, which holds a substantial amount of volume in the top line, is the sale of cattle feed. So cattle feed holds almost 10% of our top line on a broad perspective. There is no general brand as per se, because we get a high realization in selling. There are two types of cattle feed: DWGS, which is wet, and DGS, which is dried. Okay, so there is our local market is defined in such a way, our location is defined in such a way that there's a high demand of DWGS, that is the wet cattle feed. Okay, so we are selling that, and that has got a very low shelf life of 2 to 3 days. So we sell that. So there is no primary branding in that, but there is a higher realization in that, and it's majorly consumed locally.
Okay. The next question I'll take from Mr. Chetan Cholera. What is the contract with USL Diageo, and has it been renewed?
The contract with USL Diageo was for 3 years, and now it's renewed, which expired on in July 20, and it has been renewed for 3 + 2 years.
Okay. I think this question has come up before and is come from a few people. What is the reason why the promoters are not as a part of the board, and what is the thought process around this?
See, over last so many years, the promoters have always believed in running the company professionally. So that's why they have also have independent board of directors on the board. Though promoters have always been a major contributors to the strategies and the future growth plans of the company, but they always believe in running the company professionally and keeping the interests different, and they want betterment for the company. So that's the primary reason why they are not on the board.
Okay. Let me ask the next question from Mr. Praveen Srinivasan. What would be the overall impact of the lockdown and restrictions on pubs and bars over the next coming quarters and in the past? How has that impacted us to a large extent? And when it opens up, how will things revive?
See, the major impact of the lockdown has happened in the first quarter, which had to happen. So you must have seen from the result also, the first quarter result was not up to the mark because of the lockdown, because most of the places were locked down. And to a tune of certain extent, we've been affected by the pubs and the bars. But the category of the business which we are into, the major sale of that, around 90% sale of that, comes from the sale of the shops. So which is almost running and doing fairly well. So we have almost reached the pre-COVID level. So we do not see any impact now coming. Plus, we might see a positive sale coming up in the coming months to come.
Sure. Next question, I'll move on to from Agastya Dave at Cow Capital. What kind of volume growth can be expected from the franchise business and proprietary brands over the next few years? Yeah.
See, just to give you a ballpark figure, the volume growth, what we can see is that first, if I take the franchisee business, we took over the franchisee business from the USL around 3 years back, wherein USL was selling around 6 lakh cases per year. And post 3 years, last year, we closed at around 10.5 lakh cases. So that's the growth that we've seen. But growing from here substantially, I think would be difficult. So we will expect a growth around about 10% in this franchisee business. Plus, we see a huge potential in the growth of our IMFL business. And that too would come exponentially while entering into the other states. So we see an exponential growth in our own IMFL business by entering into other states. Like last year, we were doing 50,000 cases per month in Kerala. We are almost touching 1 lakh cases. Second is, if we can repeat the same thing in UP, we will see a good volumes. We are seeing again increase in volumes in the state of Delhi. So exponential growth in these will come from outside. Plus, apart from that, aggressively last year onwards, we've started to sell our products abroad and in paramilitary. So there also we are seeing a great opportunity, and we can see a huge growth coming from there as well.
So his follow-up question to this is, can you bifurcate as to how much will be organic growth versus inorganic, which is getting into new states? So when you are present in a state, what kind of growth are you seeing? And then apart from the new states?
See, in the present state, like for example, if I consider one of the major states which is we are in is Madhya Pradesh, where we get the maximum revenue from. So if we consider Madhya Pradesh, we will grow as per the market or slightly higher than the market. So if the market grows by say around 5 to 6%, we will go around 7%. And major growth apart out of this will come from other states only.
Okay. His next question is, what is the ratio of net realizations across the segments? If you can give a broad range of this across ENA, IMIL, IMFL per liter, would you have that number with you right now?
Realization.
Net realizations approximately on an average.
On an average, net realization from sale of ENA is anywhere around 52 to 55 rupees per liter. A net realization from franchisee business is around 1,000 rupees a case. Net realization from our own IMFL business in Madhya Pradesh is around about 800 rupees a case. And every state it differs. So Kerala, it's around about 700 rupees a case. In Delhi, it's around 900 rupees a case.
Okay. The next question from same person is, what are our branding exercises that we undertake over the next 2-3 years across our single malt, other popular brands, and also what are the plans for vodka, rum? He also goes on to mention that Globus has launched in Rajasthan a medium segment and has been very successful in driving volumes. So maybe you can touch upon your marketing and branding strategy.
So our marketing and branding strategy has always been bottoms up approach. See, in India, the market or liquor market is totally different. So what we have always done is that we first and foremost concentrated on the quality of what we give to the customers. So we try to give a value to the customer. We try to give a value to the customer at a reasonable price. So I'm giving a premium vodka at half the price what it's available in the market at the same range. So our focus is to first and foremost to give the quality. Second is, how do I increase the sale? I can either increase the sale by huge advertising budgets and everything, so which we do not believe in. We believe in taking a bottoms-up approach. For us, the major key person is the shopkeeper who's handing over my product to the customer, because 80% of the consumers have got fixed shops from where they buy the products from. So we influence the shopkeepers and we incentivize them to push our products, because we believe in our quality. And if 10 customers drink our product at least thrice, we are sure that at least 2 to 3 out of those customers would get converted. So that has always been our strategy. That is on the popular and on the premium segment. And on the super premium segment, which we have plans to launch a single malt, premium whiskey, and a premium quality gin. So that is the plan to do it over the next 3 years. And here also we are concentrating primarily we will be concentrating primarily the metro cities and the export market. Indian single malls have got huge potential in export markets and are gaining a huge popularity in international market. So that's what we are planning to do over the next 3 years.
Okay, thanks, Tusharji. Participants, just so you know, I am trying to get to all the questions. There are over 75 questions that are already on the Q&A link. So I will try to go through all of them. And thanks everybody for the patience. So the next question I'll take from Mr. Keshav Garg. When do you foresee our IMFL sales exceeding 50% of our total revenues? Do you see that in the near future, Tushar?
Within next 3 to 4 years, we will be able to achieve that.
Okay. What are the...
We were only 15% of our revenues was contributed by IMFL business. Now we are almost at 25 to 30% of our top line, which is contributing from our IMFL business. So within next 3 years, we will see crossing that.
Sure. What are the risks and opportunities in the IMIL segment and contract manufacturing segment?
See, in IMIL business, there is no primary risk. The risk is only that the growth is not there, because IMIL business is restricted to its own state. I cannot go to different states and sell IMIL because it's a low value product. So for me, it does not become cost effective to sell into other states. So the primary risk is that I cannot grow. I do not have potential to grow in that. So if I want to grow and if I want to grow in my top line, I have only IMFL business to grow into. And your second question was? Sorry.
In contract manufacturing as well. What are the risks you see?
In contract manufacturing, I don't see risk. Rather, I see it an opportunity because players like Diageo and Pernod have Diageo or USL earlier who used to boast about that we own around 200 factories or 300 factories across the country. And now post Diageo's takeover USL, that concepts have changed. Now they need players like us who have got huge confidence on them and are trying to get things manufactured from them. So just to tell you that earlier we were considered as just job work for Diageo. Okay, but now whole perspective of Diageo has changed and they are seeing us as a partner. So it's a partnership which we are into Diageo rather than a job work manufacturer, I would say. So which generally started with just job work manufacturing. Now they are exporting to all the different states from our premises. They are even exporting to other countries from our premises. They are planning to make us their export hub or the bottling hub. Plus, apart from that, we've got an added advantage that we are located in central India. So they can economically transport goods across India. Plus, apart from that, they also are looking, because it's very difficult to find trustworthy and efficient partners at present. So they are finding us as a great partner, and they are also expanding they want to tie up with us for their malt plant, their HBS plant, and other activities are also there involved.
Sure. His follow-up on that, sorry, go ahead.
More than threat, I see it as an opportunity for me.
Sure. His follow-up on that is, will we remain confined to the 9 districts in MP for IMIL? Or can we expand beyond that?
No, we can expand beyond that, and we've been trying expanding because it's a yearly tender procedure. So as per the tender, we are allotted. So we can expand in there also.
So, and how is the price fixed by the state government? Is it fixed for the whole year once?
It's fixed for the whole year. It's fixed for the whole year.
Okay. Moving on, he also asks us one more question is, has tax on liquor increased by MP government recently, and what's the reason for this?
The duties have been increased by the MP government. That is a yearly increase of duties which the MP government increase every year. But there has not been any levies of like COVID tax or anything like that. It's just that every year they increase duties that have been increased.
Okay. Another question. The next question is from Karthik from Unify, and he's talking about. His question is a little bit on the industry. What amount of industrial alcohol is produced by India, and what amount is imported? Is the value about 75 crores correct? Is it okay to assume a 6 to 7% growth in the coming years for this? Would you have an idea on this?
See, we can get back on the figures, but majorly, you're talking about industrial alcohol or
Industrial alcohol.
So India is primarily an exporter of alcohol here. So we are hardly importing anything. We are primarily an exporter. And just to answer this question, it's a very proud moment for a company like us. Just to give you an example, recently we have to boast about the quality of the liquor which we are providing. Diageo is sourcing across India triple distilled for manufacturing of this triple distilled vodka only from one source. That is us. No one has been able to match the quality, and Diageo is so satisfied with our quality to a tune of that. Diageo has recently purchased triple distilled quality ENA from us for the European markets. So that is a proud moment for us, and that is a proud moment to boast for our quality, what we give to them.
Fantastic.
Imagine the world's top company, which has got base in Europe, is importing ENA from India, from us.
Okay. His next question is the government push to ethanol for OMCs going to be a hindrance for the supply of industrial alcohol to industries? What's your thought on the ethanol industry? If you could spend a minute on that.
See, we per se has been a pure manufacturer of consumer alcohol, and we've been we've been working on the pure footprints of selling alcohol. So we have not explored the industrial alcohol, ethanol field at present. But there's a huge opportunity. We might see a shortage of potable alcohol for us because most of the manufacturers, sugarcane manufacturers who were making ENA or RS earlier are moving into ethanol, wherein they are seeing the higher realization. So there will be a huge demand and supply gap for us. So that will see an opportunity, and that has an opportunity to increase the price of ENA. So that's what we see happening in the months to come.
Sure. The next question I'll take is from Keshav Kumar. He's talking about in H1 FY21, we see the receivables have mounted, and that's also put a strain on the free cash flows. So what is the reason behind this, and how will this be in the coming quarters?
See, the working capital has not suffered that much in the first quarter as compared to if we compare it with last year, the first quarter. But the receivable have increased is primarily because of the lockdown and the government outflows. There was unstable, the government was not in a stable position at that point of time in Madhya Pradesh. So the payments got stuck there with the government itself. And because of the lockdown, the government was also not doing the payments effectively. But now in the coming quarters to come, that will stabilize. Now again, the government has got back into their regular payment cycles, and in the coming months, we will see that happening.
Okay. Next question I'll take from Abhishek Jain, and this has come from a few people. We have another unlisted company which is into beer manufacturing. Are there any plans of merging this, and why is it not a part of this entity already? What is the thought process around keeping that separate?
See, across everywhere, if you see, generally both the companies, like if we consider USL also, both the companies earlier when Mr. Male was also running, USL was totally different, separated from United Breweries. So as a strategy, they have been different, and they have been into different segment, and they do not have any synergies at present, and they have been kept separately altogether. And we have not considered it merging at present because they do not have any synergies.
Okay. The next question I'll take from is Carlon Iyengar. Will your own brands make Diageo reluctant for future business with you?
I don't think so it's happening, but I hope we become big enough so that Diageo becomes reluctant that day. But at present, we do not see it coming because see, Diageo's focus is completely different. Diageo is now focusing only on the premium products. Earlier, they had focused on, say, McDowell #1 and above range. Now they are primarily, slowly and steadily, they are also focusing and increasing their Scotch brands and the Scotch portfolio. They've got a huge Scotch and premium brands. And India is also growing in terms of premiumization. So their focus is on that. And as I told you that Diageo, in a way, the attitude is totally different, and they are seeing us as a partner for a long-term basis. So we do not see that happening soon.
Okay. Next question I'll take from Tushar Agarwal. For the franchise business, how is the royalty structure and other cost structures, and what is the life of the remaining contract left?
See, on a franchisee business, we pay a fixed royalty to them. That is irrespective of the sale. Our royalty per month is fixed. So if we sell more, our royalty reduces. If we sell less, our royalty increases. So we are giving them a fixed royalty irrespective of the volumes. Our contract has recently been renewed for 5 years, in which 3 years plus 2 years.
Okay. The next question from Karthik again. What is the growth for the IMIL business in MP for the next, he's asking about the next 2-3 years. And are there any sizable entry barriers to enter into other states for country liquor distribution?
See, the growth which we'll expect around about, say, around 3 to 5% in IMIL business. And as I said earlier, that there are restrictions to enter other states because it's a low value product. So for us, it will not be cost benefited enough to enter into any other state in IMIL business.
Okay. Follow-up question from Abhishek Jain is on the working capital cycle and the strategy for new markets. So what is the average working capital cycle? Is it different, maybe segment-wise, if you can explain that?
See, working capital cycle is approximately around a month's time. And most of the markets which we've entered are efficient payers. Like for example, in Chhattisgarh, we get payment within 15 days. In Madhya Pradesh, we get payment in 15 days. In Kerala, we get payment in 15 days. In Karnataka, we get payment in 7 days. In Delhi, there is a slight delay in the payment. The payment cycle is of around 2 months. So that working capital cycle is efficient enough. And if we enter into other states wherein the duty is involved and there is a delay in payment, so that might affect the working capital. But we will also, first entering into that state, we will evaluate that whether it is a good decision to enter into that state and blocking that kind of working capital. And as I told you that every state we involve, plus every state we have a different strategy involved. One is that we do not do capex at the initial stage. And in working capital also, if we are getting it manufactured, like for example, we are getting it manufactured in Kerala, the major portion of working capital is ENA, which we are sending it from here. And rest is packaging material, which is hardly any working capital blockage. So we plan it as we plan a strategy accordingly so that our working capital is effectively utilized.
Okay. Another question is why did the company change from molasses to grain-based this thing? What are the cost-benefit analysis out here? See,
at that point of time, the molasses was quite scarce at that point of time, and it was very difficult to procure molasses. So there has to be different lobbies which were working, like sugarcane mill lobby, and every more lobby was working. And earlier, what was there was no technologies also available in manufacturing in India, manufacturing grain based. The advantage, as soon as we've been first in the country to adapt any new technology, any new successful technology in terms of any field. So we were the first few to move from molasses to grain-based, and then from grain-based to multi-feed grain-based. So now for me, there are few advantages over the molasses-based. Is that in the molasses-based, there was a huge pollution control problems that there had a possibility that you could not grow exponentially in one particular location because you required that much to treat the effluent and everything. So now when I move to grain-based, I can exponentially grow in one particular location itself. So that will give me economies of scale, which I could not do in the molasses-based era. In grain-based era, what we have done is we put up a multi-feed plant. So I can use 4 or 5 grains depending on the cost-benefit analysis. So if one grain is more expensive than the other, so I can shift from grain to grain depending on its output and its efficiencies and starch content. So that is the advantage for moving from molasses-based to grain-based. Plus, apart from that, now across the country, all the players have been preferring grain-based ENA, and that has been one of the reasons for us to be successful in Kerala and other southern market also, because southern markets primarily they are still manufacturing alcohol from molasses-based, and grain-based ENA has got a superior quality than molasses-based. So we've been sending our grain-based here and then manufacturing our products. So we've seen a tremendous response from them. And all the multinational companies are now moving into grain-based ENA.
Okay. A follow-up question, and this is a question from a few other people like Tushar Pendekar also. What is the input-output ratio of the company for the raw material use required for 1 unit of ENA or alcohol, that we can explain how much of grains gives how much of output? Can we explain that?
See, as per specific, we can, if there is a specific question, we can get back to them. But see, entire output depends on the basis. Just to brief you, the alcohol comes out of sugar. Earlier we used to extract sugar from molasses and make alcohol out of that. But what we are doing now is that we in grain base there is starch available, which we convert into sugar and then in turn convert into alcohol. So if we use rice has got maximum percentage of starch, the output is higher. If we use any other grain, the output is lesser. So the more just to give you a broad mark figure, the more the starch content, the more the output would be. But also it depends on what price rice is available and what price other crops are available.
Understood. The next question from Nikhil Chaudhary. Diageo has arrangements with many other players in the country. So how important to them are we?
We've been, as I've again, just to reiterate, we've been really important, and we've been their trusted partners over last around 20 years. And Diageo has seen a great confidence, and year on year, Diageo is increasing our relationship in terms of bottling, job work manufacturing, or getting other things manufactured. Now setting up a malt plant for them, plus giving us the franchisee manufacturing. They are in talking terms to take franchisee manufacturing for other states also. They are in talking terms to set up a bottling unit or take up their own bottling unit and do job work for other states as well. So we see this relationship growing only from here on.
Sure. A question from Srinath is, what are the brands that we manufacture for USL on our franchise basis as well as just contract manufacturing or bottling?
So for franchisee basis, we are manufacturing their popular brands. Just to name a few, a few popular brands is Bagpiper Whiskey, McDowell No. 1 Rum, Blue Ribbon Gin, Director's Special, White Mischief. These are the popular brands which we are manufacturing. And apart from these popular brands, all the other brands we are doing job work. Whichever brands Diageo is selling in India, we are doing job work for them. Just to name a few, in IMFL is McDowell No. 1 Whiskey, RC, Antiquity, Signature, to name a few scotches, Black and White, VAT 69, Black Dog, Captain Morgan Rum, Smirnoff. So we are doing we are manufacturing all the brands, and we are selling it across the country, and we are also exporting these brands to other countries also for them.
Okay. Next question I'll take from Dilip Raj. What is the strategy chosen for entering a new state? Are there logistic constraints for states far off like MP, like Kerala? What is the strategic thought process here?
So the strategies to enter into different states is one, and prime most. See, what we've done is that few years back we've taken one of the senior most executive from USL, who's served USL for almost 30 years and was one of the key drivers in setting up units in other states. We've taken him on board, and he's advising and guiding us that which states to enter and what are the pros and cons of entering a state. And apart from that, see, as most of you are aware that in India, in liquor industry, every state is a different country altogether. Every state has got its own policies. So we have to review the policies, we have to review the volumes, and then we have to review the sustainability. So one of the prime most concern which we have is that we need to find a very good distributor, and we need to have a good volume there. So that has been the main focus of entering into other states. And the person who's been associated with us was associated with USL, one of the top companies of the country. So he has got close contacts with top distributors and top manufacturers. So depending on the states which depending on each and every states, we take a call. For example, in Kerala, we are getting manufacturing in Kerala. For Karnataka, we are getting manufacturing in Karnataka. For Chhattisgarh, we are manufacturing it here and selling in Chhattisgarh. For Delhi, we are manufacturing it here and selling in Delhi. So every state, we have to adopt a different strategy, and we have to have a whole holistic plan for next 3 to 5 years to enter that state. So that's how we've been doing it. And we've been guided by one of the senior person from the industry.
Sure. His follow-up question of Srinath is, what are our own top 3 IMFL brands? Can you explain the target market for these and price points, and how do you manage to scale these brands up?
See, our top three brands again. If I go to see, is depending on the states I enter. So just to give you a broad mark figure, that our top three brand, for example, in Madhya Pradesh, is top brand is a Bombay Special Whisky, which is below the popular brand, and second is Central Province Whisky, which is a premium whisky, and Titanium Vodka. In Kerala, it's more of a brandy and it's more of a rum market. So there, it's our rum is there, and our mood maker brandy is there. Our Jamaican Magic rum is there. So every state, the difference is there in the preferences.
Got it. The next question I'll take from Vijay Ramchandani. Any increase in the royalty payment on renewal that we had?
There have been a
For our
slight,
franchise.
yeah, there have been slight increase in the royalty payment, not major,
Okay.
minuscule increase in the royalty payment.
Okay. His follow-up is what was the ENA realization last year and how much is it today, approximately?
Last year, average ENA realization was around about 55 to 56 rupees. At present, ENA realization is around about 53 to 52 rupees.
Okay. Then another follow-up from his is our capacity utilization is already at peak levels. How much growth can we expect in current year and next year, and how much time will it take to double the capacity? So you said that 1.5 years, but what is the growth expected in the next current year and next year?
Current year, next year, we see a top line growth of around about anywhere between 15 to 20%.
How do you do this when our capacity is at peak levels?
The top line growth will come from value-added products. That is the sale of our own IMFL business. So that's where the value would be higher and the margins would be higher. So we'll be selling less of ENA and we'll be selling more of value-added product. Plus, what happens in sometimes we get an opportunity because IML business is primarily in IML business we can use what we are doing is that we are using very superior quality and what we are manufacturing in IML business also. So there are certain gaps which we get in the market wherein we purchase ENA from outside and use it for IML business and sell our ENA. So that also gives us opportunity. So that opportunity gap is there. So we try and utilize the opportunity in the market whenever it's available.
Okay. So this question has come from a few people. I'll take the one from Arjun Shah. What, according to you, is apart from our strategic location, is our moat of our company and sets us apart from our competitors like Radico and Globus?
See, as I earlier told you that one of the biggest advantage what we have, and that has been the philosophy of the companies for last say around 3 decades, is that we believe in running a company at a very low debt. So that has helped us in sustaining in all the cycles of the industry. We've seen the companies see. As I told you that it's not a big problem for us to sell ENA. We could have done this and we could have expanded our capacity earlier also from 45 to 9 million. But we wanted to take step by step and we want to be low on debt. We want to be self-reliant because see what happens is that as our concept has always been that we believe in keep on walking concept rather than running and falling. So that is one of the major things which has helped us sustain all the market scenarios because every industry goes through its ups and downs. So that has helped us sustain everywhere. Second, one of the major factors which has helped us and which separates us from the other companies also is which has been a core competency is the quality. We have never compromised on our quality irrespective of whatever happens. So that has helped us and that has helped us in gaining our reputation in the industry. And that is the only result that today we are exporting to countries like Europe and other countries our products. That has been the only reason because of the quality itself.
Okay. The next question I'll take from Binoy Jariwala. What is the capacity for single malt plant that we plan to set up for USL, and what would be the capex for them? Any thoughts on any further update on this?
See, we are still in talking terms with them. We are trying to set up around about 6,000 liters per day manufacturing capacity, which probably most of it, which half of it would be underwritten by Diageo, and half we'll be using for our own manufacturing purposes. Capex involved here is initial capex involved is around about 20 to 25 crores, and then the second phase of capex would be there. That is in terms of maturing and keeping the cask and all that. That will be around about 20 crores.
Okay. Next question I'll take from Arjun Shah. How varied is our customer profile? Does any particular, this is, I assume, more towards the B2B. Does any particular customer account for more than 8 to 10% of our revenues? So, who are our large customers on the B2B side?
See, on B2B side, one of our largest customers is Diageo.
Correct.
Diageo, who's been regularly and continuously buying from us. But what we've also started doing is that apart from Diageo, we've started looking for other customers also. We are in this industry for almost now 3 decades. So we have got relationship with almost all the bottlers and all the manufacturers across the country. So we've been in talking terms with them, and in between we are also tying up and applying for tenders. Like we got awarded for Rajasthan supply of ENA. So we are doing that. So it's not majorly that we are dependent on one particular customer, that is Diageo. So we are expanding it to other people as well.
Okay.
Because we have to expand because we have to move from 45 to 9 million. So we have to expand our customer base for that.
Okay. So the next question is from Vignesh. What is the maximum capacity of ENA we can build in the current land bank that we have? So is this the new capacity expansion going to come in the same land bank of, I guess it's about 125 acres?
Yeah, so it's about, we've got a sufficient amount of land bank. The new expansion will also come in the same, from 35, we went to 45 in the same land bank itself. And the new capacity also will come in the same land bank. That will only give us economies of scale. That will also increase our margins in ENA sale as well, because the fixed cost would be limited, and with the same amount of fixed cost, we will be doubling our capacity. So that will also add to our margins in ENA sale as well. And we have got a sufficient amount of land available there.
Okay. There is a follow-up, question, and I think this has come a bunch of times by people, that is there a conflict of interest in USL? And I think you already addressed this question before, with selling our own brands. What are they telling you today? Are they coming to you and saying why, or is there any kind of issue out here? And can you just clearly clarify this strategy? Is USL threatened by us?
See, as I told you earlier, also answered the same question earlier also, USL is not threatened by us. And apart from that, what we have also seen is that USL and our partnership is rather growing every day by day. And we've seen a tremendous change because we've been a performer for them. As I told you that we've increased their sales in Madhya Pradesh from 6 lakh cases per year to 10.5 lakh cases per year. So USL is seeing a great opportunity, and USL is seeing a great partner in us. So to a tune of extent that USL is supporting, in fact, which they did not used to do 3 years over the last 3 years. They are supporting in selling their own brands. Okay, they have got a senior person who's in regular touch with us. He's guiding, you should do this, you should do that. So they see a huge potential, and they see us and they want us to be partner with them in other states also. So we see a huge opportunity rather than they are also seeing a huge opportunity in us rather than seeing a threat in us.
A couple follow-ups on that.
A person like us who's maintaining and rather growing their brand also. Apart from we are selling in that brand, so they are also practical people. Like, see, today if I do not sell in that place, someone will sell.
Yeah.
So that is the place they
price. And the price category that you are selling versus they are selling, is there any difference?
There is totally difference. Now they have over the years they are moving upward towards the upward ladder. They are concentrating more on margin products than the sale of volume. Because as you are all aware that when Diageo took over USL, their top line was almost 5 times than top line of Pernod. However, their bottom line was almost the same. So that they realized the fact, and they said that our core competency is not manufacturing. We have partners like Associated who have good practices and are good people, and we can partner with them. Let them do the manufacturing, and our core competency is brand and sales. Let's concentrate on that, and rather than increase in margin. So they've been moving upward toward the upward ladder. So that is the major reason why they gave popular brands to players like us who could do justice to their brands and grow their brands.
Sure. A follow-up from Srinath on the same lines is, so how much does USL today contribute today of our overall top line? Would you have an idea?
Overall top line, around about what we are, its contribution is primarily focused on the sale of the IMFL products which we are franchising for them. That constitutes around about, say, 100 crores.
Okay. Contract manufacturing as well?
Contract manufacturing is minuscule, I think hardly 10 crores.
Okay. And do we have an arrangement of a fixed royalty or is it a variable royalty? How is the economics work with them?
The royalty is fixed yearly basis. So it's a fixed royalty.
And what is a couple follow-ups on same USL lines is how do you, what kind of scale do you think that this will reach your relationship and your business with your USL business? How do you see it growing in the next 5 years with our new capacity and all that? Have they already seen inquiries of taking more ENA or IMFL or franchise from you?
They've we are growing. Our relationship with USL is growing in almost all the segments. So they are increasing their intake of ENA from us. As I told you, of late, Diageo has purchased ENA for European markets from us. Second is on job work manufacturing. They are increasing their volumes of job work manufacturing month on month basis. They are sending it from here across the country and to other countries also, in export markets also. Their premium, like Black Dog, we've exported to US, we've exported to African countries. Third is on the terms of just to follow up on the second question also, on the job work front, USL is very keen for us to take similar kind of job work activities for the other states as well. Wherever we find an opportunity, they've approached us for few states. We are working on those few states. Because of travel restrictions at present, we could not execute those plans and move forward. But soon we might execute those plans and look into doing job work manufacturing for USL in other states also. Third is on the franchisee business. They had awarded franchisees to a lot of companies across different states across the country. We are proud here to say that we've been the top performer across the country. And now USL is asking us and has given us few more states option whether they want us, where they want us to take the franchisee business. We are in terms of exploring that opportunity also. So in every segment, we are growing our relationship with Diageo USL.
Fair point. Next question I'll take from Manisha. We are running out of time, so maybe I'll take the last few questions. IMIL is, do we have any brands in IMIL? What are these brands? And do you also sell unbranded country liquor? And how do you market this?
There are no particular brands in IMIL. The brands are defined by the government. So there is there are primarily two brands which are defined by the government. One is plain, second is masala. As per the government's protocol, we have to manufacture that. But in that also, we do not have to market because we quote for a particular district and we are allotted that district for 1 year. So we are the single seller in that district for a particular price which is defined by the government. But plus, apart from that, we see an opportunity there in terms that our sales is growing in those districts compared to other distillers in other districts, is because we are the only ones, or primarily the major ones, who are even giving ENA made from grain in IML also.
Okay.
So that is giving us advantage, and we are seeing slight increase in sales there as well.
Okay. The tender contracts that we have, how long are those contracts? Is it like is it on a 1 year contracted? Okay. Yeah. Okay. And that was from Keshav Kumar. I think this question has been answered. There's a lot of repeat questions, and the questions come at different times. So I'm just trying to go through as many of them as possible. And unfortunately, we are running out of time. Let me take a few more questions. Keshav Kumar is asking, in the revenue stream, we have other products and ways. What is the bifurcation for DDGS, margins, market size? Is there any consistent growth in this requirement or cyclical? Is it impacted by monsoon? Again, you answered this earlier, but very quickly, if you want to just touch upon it.
The other products, as I told you, consist of DDGS, DWGS, and then fusel oil and CO2. Fusel oil and CO2 contribute very less to the top line. DWGS and DDGS contributes almost 10% of the top line. We are primarily selling into DWGS, which is more a local driven market because the demand is huge there. So we are selling that. So there is no marketing or strategies involved in that.
Okay. Next question from Bhagwat Naik. What are the any guidances on the margin front? Do we expect it to remain consistent, go down, go up in the coming future?
See, at present we have a EBITDA margin of around about anywhere around about 17 to 19%. So we are expecting to maintain this EBITDA margin contribution. And as and when our value-added product increases, the EBITDA margin would increase.
Sure. Let me take one final question, and this one is from Chetan Cholera again, and it is a question that I would have asked you anyways. It's something that you already touched upon, but what is your vision for the next 5 years? And what's your how do you see? I think Prasanna Kumarji also talked about this a little bit, but where do you want to see your company over the next 5 years? And I'll conclude at that question.
See, coming next 5 years, as I told you that we are also we see a great opportunity in coming 5 years, and we are of the assumption that we will see a great boost in the liquor industry, and the consumption would exponentially grow in the country. So we have to prepare ourselves for that. So for that, we are doing capacity expansion. We are entering into other states. We are increasing our IMFL brands. Plus, what we are also doing is that we are trying to identify opportunity, and wherever we are finding an opportunity, we are encashing on those opportunities. Whether it be a CSD market, whether it be a paramilitary market, whether it be an export market to different countries. And now, see, we have reached a particular amount of EBITDA contribution by our existing brands. So the EBITDA contribution will now increase if we sell more of a premium brands. So for that also we are working ahead of the market, and soon we are planning to launch a single malt, as I told you, a premium Scotch whiskey and a premium gin. So which is the trend of across the world, and we are planning to export these to other countries also, which will give us a huge EBITDA contribution and which will give us a huge margin. So that has been our strategy, and again to reiterate, our focus now in the coming years will be to convert the maximum amount of ENA production into our own value-added products.
Thank you so much, Tusharji. Thank you so much, Prasanna Kumarji. Participants, I know that there are a few questions that have not been answered. Some of these questions, the data is available on the presentations, and wherever else it is not answered, please reach out to us. We would be happy to answer whatever we can. Management, thank you so much for participating, and everybody else as well. Thank you so much for coming and joining us today. Thank you, everybody.